Okay, let's get started and start building our snowman. A couple of things I want to mention. First of all, make sure you're in model mode on the left side. So this cube icon should be highlighted with blue. If you're in any one of these other modes, a lot of the stuff isn't going to work. Second thing I want to mention is I do have a playlist called Intro to Cinema 4D that introduces the workspace, how to move the camera, how to move objects, and some of the basic tools. I will talk through every step of this snowman project, but if some of it seems fuzzy to you, you can go back and review that playlist, that Intro to Cinema 4D playlist where I introduce a lot of this stuff. But anyway, just since this is a beginning video, I want to remind you that if you're not in model mode, or if you're not in the correct mode as we're working on stuff, some stuff won't work. So to begin, make sure you're in model mode. Very important. Okay, let's get started finally. Excuse me. Alright, so snowman is 3 spheres stacked on top of each other. That's simple enough. Let's hit the drop down menu on this cube icon so we can see our parametric primitives, and we'll choose a sphere. Ta-da! Okay, now as a refresher, remember every last selected element or item shows up in the attribute manager. And if we look in the attribute manager, we got a sphere of 100 centimeters and segments are 24. That's great. Let's leave it like that. Let's see, I should go to view frame default. That's where, okay, I'm in frame default now. I didn't have that before. Now, let's stack another sphere on top of this. So hit the drop down menu next to the cube, make another sphere. The sphere is buried in the first one. As I mentioned in the intro videos, only move an object by one axis at a time. Your life will be much better. So just hover over the green arrow, which is the y-axis, click, hold, and drag, and move it up, and it's too big, right? So over in the attribute manager, let's change the radius to 70. And just by luck, I kind of positioned it correctly, but you'll want to move this up and down by the y-axis to get it like nestled in so it looks very snowman-like. Now let's check out our object manager. We got a sphere and a sphere 1. That will get really, really confusing as we continue on with more complicated projects. So let's select the first sphere we did in the object manager, and let's call it base. And the second sphere we just created just now, let's call it middle, because it's the middle of the snowman. And if you're one of my students watching this, you will be evaluated on how well your object manager panel here is organized. So get into a practice of naming all the stuff that you bring in, because you're going to have you're going to have a lot of really complicated projects. You're going to have a lot of pieces and parts, and it gets confusing. Let's make another sphere for the head. So hit the drop down menu, which is our sphere. There it is, buried there. And I'll grab the y-axis again, and I'll pull it up. I can use my wheel mouse to wheel out a little bit so I can get a better look at this. Remember you can hold down the 1 key, click, hold, and drag, and you can pan the camera. I'm not moving the object. So the head's too big. Come over to the attribute manager and change it to 50. 50, hit return. There it is. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit with my wheel mouse, and I'm going to grab the y-axis and just nestle this in so it looks very snowman-like. And finally, in the object manager, I'm going to click on the word sphere we just created, and call it head. Hit return. So we got a head, we got a middle, we got a base. And that'll be enough for this video. See you in the next video.